So I want to welcome those of you who are watching us on YouTube, for a sad day, but also a day of celebration in its own way, celebrating the life of a wonderful, wonderful person. And as I said when I was messaged that Eddie had passed, I said, the world is a little darker. However, he picked the most summer day that we could all enjoy outside. And Eddie was always thinking of others. Esainai el harim me'ayin yavo ezri Esainai el harim me'ayin yavo ezri Ezri me'im Adonai Ose Shamayim Varetz Ezri me'im Adonai Ose Shamayim Varetz. A song for ascents. I turn my eyes to the mountains. From where will my help come? My help comes from Adonai, maker of heaven and earth. Adonai will not let your foot give way. Your guardian will not slumber. The guardian of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. Adonai is your protection, a guardian at your right hand. By day the sun will not strike you, nor the moon by night. Adonai will guard you from all harm and guard your life. Adonai guards your going and coming, now and forever. We are assembled with our friends and our family in the darkness that has fallen upon us. We raise our voices together to the source of life, asking for comfort and strength. For we need light when gloom darkens our lives. We need fortitude and courage when pain and loss assail us. May we find these in God, who preserves from destruction all that is good. Let us find them too in loved ones and companions who do God's work by binding up the wounds of the stricken. For who among us has not passed through trials and bereavements? Some bear fresh wounds in their hearts and therefore feel more keenly the kinship of sorrows. Others, whose days of mourning are more remote, still recall the comfort that sympathy brought to their sorrowing hearts. May our sharing of sorrow and our deeds of solace bring comfort to the loved ones of Eddie, Richman, Yitzchak Shmuel, Ben Moshe Vatova. I only picked my favorite readings. Shall I cry out in anger, O God, because your gifts are mine but for a while? Shall I be ungrateful for the moments of laughter, the seasons of joy, the days of gladness and festivity, when tears cloud my eyes and darken the world, and my heart is heavy within me? Shall I blot from mine the love I have known and in which I have rejoiced, when a fate beyond my understanding takes from me friends and kin whom I have cherished, and leaves me bereft of shining presences that have lit my way through years of companionship and affection? Give me the vision, O God, to see and feel that embedded deep in each of your gifts is a core of eternity that survives the dread hours of affliction and misery. Those we have loved, though now beyond our view, have given form and quality to our lives. They have led us into the wide universe we continue to inhabit and their presence is more vital to us than their absence. What you give, O Lord, you take not away, and bounties once granted shed their radiance evermore. And a reading from Psalms. A Psalm of David. Can we deserve to enter God's sanctuary? Can we merit a place in the presence of God? Live with integrity. Do what is right. Speak the truth without deceit. Have no slander upon your tongue, nor do evil to others. Do not mistreat your neighbor, nor spurn a contemptible person, but honor those who revere Adonai. Never retract a promise once made, though it may bring you harm. Lend no money at unfair rates. Accept no bribe against the innocent. Make these deeds your own, then shall you stand firm forever. This is my prayer. This is my prayer to you, my God. Let not my spirit wither and shrivel in its thirst for you, and lose the dew with which you sprinkled it when I was young. May my heart be open to every broken soul, to orphan life, to every stumbler wandering unknown and groping in the shadow. Bless my eyes, purify me to see humanity's beauty rise in the world, and the glory of my people in its redeemed land, spreading its fragrance over all the earth. Deepen and broaden my senses to absorb a fresh, green, flowering world, to take from it the secret of blossoming in silence. Grant strength to yield fine fruits, quintessence of my life, steeped in my very being, without expectation of reward. And when my time comes, let me slip into the night, demanding nothing, God, of humanity or of you. Psalm 23. Mizmor LeDavid, Adonai roi lo echzor, bino deshe yarbitzeni, al mei menuchot yanachaleni. Nafshi yeshovev, nafshi yeshovev, yancheni b'maglei tzedek, l'man shemo. Gam ki elech begetz al mavet lo irara ki ata imadi shivtecha Shantecha, Shivtecha, Umishantecha, Hemaya Nachamuni, Taroch, Lefanai Shulchan, Taroch, Lefanai Shulchan. Taroch lefanai shulchan neged sorerai dishanta v'Hashem en roshi dishanta v'Hashem en roshi dishanta Vashem en roshi kosi revaya. Ach tov v'chesed. Hirdefuni kol yemei chayai v'shavti beveit Adonai v'shavti beveit Adonai leorech yamim yalalai lai lai nai yananai nai 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 yananai lai 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 yalalai nai 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 yananai nai 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 yai lai nai yai yai lai lai. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. Adonai restores my soul. He guides me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You have anointed my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Eddie Richman was indeed a rich man, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But first, I'm going to invite Jeff and Bill forward to share some of their thoughts and words about him, and we will experience the richness of his life. Here's more water. Just lean it.
Now that I have the lifesaver in my mouth, I don't know. Well, we are gathered here today to celebrate the life of Eddie, our beloved father, husband, brother, uncle, cousin, and friend who dedicated his life to his family. Eddie and my mother Diane were a true inspiration, always there for each other through thick and thin. We are forever grateful for Eddie's care during her long cancer battle, and his love and devotion to her will always be remembered. Eddie and his twin brother Carl had an unbreakable bond and shared unforgettable moments together. They were two peas in a pod, always finding joy in each other's company and sometimes mischief. Eddie had a heart of gold and was a man who always saw the best in everyone. He found pleasure and comfort in the simple things in life. He had a love for driving, and surprisingly, this actually included a tank in the Army for the 101st Paratroopers in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. He also enjoyed our picnic lunches together at Fort Williams Park in Cape Elizabeth, which were some of my favorite times with him. As some of you may know, Eddie was a man of action, never hesitating to use his trusty duct tape to fix anything around the house, which we fondly referred to as Eddie fixes. And if you come back to the house, you'll see several. Eddie cherished every season and created special memories with his family for each one. He would take Mark and I ice skating and sledding during the winter, and in the fall, he would take the family to the White Mountains in New Hampshire. And during the summers, Eddie looked forward to visiting Sebago Lake and Old Orchard Beach, where he indulged in some of his favorite treats, such as fried dough, pure fries, Bill's Pizza, and ice cream. One time, Eddie built Mark and I a clubhouse from old doors from their place on Pitt Street. And let's just say it was an interesting construction, but it was filled with so much love that it didn't matter how it looked. Eddie was the epitome of a genuine family man, extending warmth and kindness to those around him. He took immense pride in my brother Mark, and consistently expressed gratitude for Mark's devoted care for him as his health declined. One moment. From the moment my husband Bill entered Eddie's life, he was embraced as a member of the family. Eddie's presence at our wedding in fall of 2021 in Provincetown was truly invaluable, and his genuine happiness and affection was felt profoundly. Eddie was a kind, caring, and devoted man, and his passing leaves a hole in our hearts. But his memory will always be with us, and we will cherish the time we have with him. Dad, know that you will forever be remembered for the love you gave and the joy you brought into our lives. We love you.
Today, Eddie and his wife, you were the one supposed to have a hard time. Eddie and his wife, Diane, are united in heaven. In their unique and very special quartet, the Richman twin brothers, Eddie and Carl, and the Shui twin sisters, Diane and Helen, are once again together as well. I can only imagine all of the gossip and the stories they need to bring Eddie up to speed on, and vice versa. I'm sure Eddie is smiling as they, along with Barbara, Judy, Marcia, and Rita, and others, welcome him into heaven. There wasn't a day Eddie didn't think about all of them, which is why his home is filled with family photos and memories, more than you can imagine. Deep in our hearts, we know that Eddie and those family members and friends that have joined him in heaven would want us and ask us to celebrate his life rather than dwelling on the loss. Let us all take warmth in knowing that they are no doubt all celebrating Eddie's arrival. I mean, who wouldn't celebrate Eddie's presence in a room, or heaven for that matter? Let us also remember that we have so many reasons to celebrate Eddie. His remarkable kindness, his strong devotion and love for family and friends, and his quiet but very successful way he would always divert attention from himself in order to focus on those around him. Just look around at those that are here today, as well as the many that are here in spirit and watching virtually. In doing so, we are reminded of the powerful and significant influence Eddie has had on each of us. I speak for all of us in thanking you for your presence today, your wishes, and most of all, your love and admiration for Eddie. Eddie, Dad, we promise to keep 97 Birchwood Drive alive with family photos, memories, and stories, as you have taught us well. We'll never forget you. Please give Diane a big hug for all of us. And this is somewhat of an inside joke, but one last thing. This is for Eddie. I'm waving in the rearview mirror at the numerous cars and people behind us that are occasionally beeping and honking because you're driving way too fast. We love you.
So it says, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I don't know, I feel like we're family and we should be sitting in a room right here and just, and Eddie's with us. So it says in Pirkei Avot, Pirkei Avot are the ethics teachings of our sages. So Ben Zoma said, Ezohu chacham, halomed mikol adam. Ben Zoma taught, who is wise? Those who learn from everyone. As it is written in Psalms, from all of my teachers I have gained understanding. Ezohu gibor, who is strong? The one who conquers their evil impulse, as it is written in Proverbs, one who is slow to anger is better than the mighty. Ezohu ashir, who is rich? Those who are content with their portion, as it is written in Psalms. When you eat the labor of your hands, happy will you be, and all will be well with you. To that, the sages say, happy will you be refers to this world, and all will be well with you refers to the next world. And Ezohu mechubad, one who is honored, those who honor all people. Now, I don't know if in some long ago place in the 1st century, Ben Zoma met Eddie, but this is his piece of Talmud. Wise. Eddie would silently watch and kvel and smile. And I used to, wonder if he was having a good time because everybody would be talking and talking away, and he would just be there. But he wasn't just there. He was there. He was present, and he knew everyone in the room. I sometimes wish that I could have been one of his customers because I bet he treated everyone so amazingly. But he would learn, he silently learned. Strong, who is strong? Well, I'd never, maybe some of you have seen Eddie angry. I have never. But he might have been angry and bitter, having lost the love of his life. And he might have been angry and bitter about any number of things. But whenever I asked Eddie how he was, he looked like he was in pain. He looked like he was having a hard time. He'd always visit Diane at the cemetery. Eddie, how are you? Fine, thank you, Rabbi. Very strong. Rich. Well, I wrote down he was a Richman, a rich man. Who was rich? One who was content with their portion. He was the happiest person I think I have ever met. I mean, sometimes you have to wonder if he was Jewish. But he was happy. He took care of other people. His love was really unbelievable. Now, I realize that, maybe I'm a little bit flourishy about these things, but, at any rate, you all know what I'm talking about, and you can all fill in your own stories. Honor. Who is honored? Those who honor all people. Eddie honored and loved almost unconditionally. He was beloved in his neighborhood, he was beloved by his family, and he always thanked others. He always seemed to put others before himself. And on what I wrote down from what you said to me, but in his Diane shrine, he had the words, "I will honor you forever." I know that when I went to visit him on Sunday, and I was telling him, how much I loved him, how much I love the family, all this is true. He said, "Thank you. I love you." And that is such a moment, and I'm sure to all of you, you've had that kind of experience probably several times. Eddie was happy. Even when things were bad, he really found that place to show gratitude. And so one of the things I want to make sure I said today was what Mark was talking about today, about his gratitude, about his being grateful for the way that his dad took care of him, and he took care of his dad after Diana passed, and even before, and all those very special things that they did together that are not only part of a memory, but part of who you are, and part of who you all are. I think it's incredibly neat that twins married twins, and especially into this family that is just a rich family. And so there's so much more to say about him, about the whole family. And I think the reason that one of the reasons that I'm so moved, and I don't know, I'm not usually like this at a funeral, but I've known so many of that generation, and I've watched them pass on, and I don't know what heaven is like, but if there is such a heaven, that gang is definitely getting together. And some of them are yelling, and some of them are kvetching, and some of them are sitting back and smiling, and everybody is happy. The only thing they are unhappy about is that they can't be here with us. But they are. And that's what keeps all of us going. And Mark, that's what will keep you going. And Jeff and Bill, that's what will keep you going too. We'll all keep going, but we'll all remember that smile. We'll all remember to say thank you. We'll all remember to go to beautiful places like Fort Williams and sit on the bench and just look at the beauty and take it in and feel grateful for all that we have been given, which is why I want to end this part of this ceremony, this service, with that wonderful reading, "What is life?" Life is a challenge, meet it. Life is a gift, accept it. Life is an adventure, dare it. Life is a sorrow, overcome it. Life is a tragedy, face it. Life is a duty, perform it. Can you imagine Eddie in a tank? Life is a game, play it. Life is a mystery, unfold it. Life is a song, sing it. Life is an opportunity, take it. Life is a journey, complete it. Life is a promise, fulfill it. Life is a beauty, praise it. Life is a struggle, fight it. Life is a goal, achieve it. Life is a puzzle, solve it. Life is love, love it. Zichrono livracha, may the soul and the memory of Eddie Richman, Yitzchak Shmuel ben Moshe Vatova be a blessing for each one of us and for this world. Following interment at the Temple Bethel Memorial Park, the family invites you back to the house. Look at all those pictures. To his residence at 97 Birchwood Drive. Good luck if you ever find it. I thought it would be really funny if everybody drove there very slowly. And in the spirit of Eddie and Diane and the kids, the family has requested that should you choose to make a donation in his honor, that you make it to the Diane and Edward Richman Endowed Fund for Students with Special Needs at Clark University. And there's instructions for doing that. I have it. It's in the paper. You'll be able to see that. So what do we do when we're sorrowful and when we're happy, when we're celebrating, when we're mourning? We eat. So following interment, when we do come back to the house, I think it's his beloved amados that will be there for you. Elohas lichot, God of forgiveness, you who are gracious and compassionate, patient and abundantly kind, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and pure to Eddie Richman, Yitzchak Shmuel ben Moshe Vatova, who has gone to his eternal home. Help us to meet grief with courage and to face sorrow undaunted. Help us to treasure what is now ours because he has lived. Should despair threaten or faith falter, sustain us all, Adonai, for you are our refuge and our strength, our ever-present help in troubled times. And let us say, Amen. I invite you to rise as I recite the Al Malei Rachamim, the memorial prayer. El Malei Rachamim, Shochen Bamromim, Hamsei Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanfei Ashchina, B'mahalot Kedoshim Utorim, Kezohar Akia Mazirim, Et Nishmat Yitzchak Shmuel ben Moshe Vatova, Shehalach L'olamo, Began Eden Tehei Menuchato, Ana Ba'al Rachamim, Hasirehu B'seter Knafecha L'olamim, Utzror Bitzor HaChayim et Nishmato, Adonai Unachalato, V'yanuach b'shalom al mishkavo, v'nomar Amen. Al Malei Rachamim, exalted, compassionate God, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and pure to the soul of Yitzchak Shmuel ben Moshe Vatova, who has gone to his eternal home. Merciful One, we ask that Eddie find perfect peace in your eternal embrace. May his soul be bound up in the bond of life. May he rest in peace, and let us say, Amen.